a special program in living color on NBC.
No fade out. It was that, or I had this. It was always you can do the from Price is Right. I'll turn these off. That's enough of that, I think. Misha's gonna slip on his ass on the way in here. All right, time to start the show, everybody. Hello. Oh, you couldn't tell? Oh, yeah. Well, we had the bubbles going the whole time. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Cool intro. That was done by Taylor Hendricks last week. 2 weeks ago. I don't remember when he did it. It might have been 2 weeks ago. But we just got it today, an hour before showtime. Driftworthy is here. Hello. I am CMJVSB is here. Sully Sound, you're one of the people I want to talk to today. You and Bobby Bass, specifically. PTSRS, what's up, Will? How are you? Thank you for joining us. Carissable is here. We're going to be talking about you as well. Man, it's a family show today.
I love it.
And then our friend Misha. Oh, gosh, we should start everything up. By the way, hello, welcome back. My name is Jay Ryan. The lady to my right is Nicole Ryan. This is Late Night Playset. Welcome back to it. Tonight is Tuesday, August 31st, 2021. And holy crap, it's big to me because August 30th, of course, as you all saw from my Instagram post yesterday, is the anniversary of all of this stuff. So we're back, but it's all of our stuff has also had a birthday. It's 1 year older. 28 years ago last night, Bill Murray spray painted Dave across the front of this desk. Okay. Yeah, it was 1993, last night, 1993. Hello, Skip Ploss. Good evening to you. So there's that. So August 31st is 1 day plus that. That day plus one. It's Tradecraft Tuesday. I already gave you this sticky vape, which you're firing on. It's it's the government one, the G. No, it's whatever you've been sucking on. It's
G.
Haze? Train. Ghost Train Haze. Yeah, that's it. Ghost Train Haze.
That's a good one.
Correct. Misha Mansoor. Hey, 512 PA. Don't worry about it. This is our guest, about to tell you, is MISHA MANSOOR, the creator and musician in the band Periphery, creator of the band Periphery. I don't know, what do you call that? It's not a creator of a band. Started the band? Is it a creator? No.
It's starting a band, I think, but I don't.
The first member? The first member of Periphery. I don't know how you would
The
say that.
founding
But
member.
yeah, that's good. Anyway, MISHA Mansoor is going to be here in just a little bit. He is stuck in traffic. Hello, Hippie Grip. JC. Last time he was here, we talked all about music because I was fascinated about his music. He's a professional musician. I wanted to hear about it. But the truth is he's a car friend, and we know him through Breakfast Club, and he has many, many cool cars. And we're going to talk about all of them as well as some of the controversial stories behind them tonight. So it's all car talk with MISHA Mansoor tonight. Also, there were a lot of comments last time from his people saying, just shut up and let him talk. And they didn't really realize, because it looks like a proper interview show, right? You know what I mean? Somebody tunes into this for the first time and they're like, oh, well, they know what they're doing. They don't realize that, no, not really. I mean, not particularly. No, not more than anyone else. We don't know what we're doing. And then our shows are really just two people hanging out, or three people really, but like, I don't even know if you were on that one. Were you on the MISHA Mansoor one, or were you over on the
think
stool?
so.
Were you back here by then?
I think so.
Welcome back. We're happy to have you. Anyway, it was really, really funny. So, but to date, that I think, I haven't checked lately, but last time I looked at numbers, which wasn't necessarily lately, MISHA Mansoor's episode was the highest watched show we'd ever had, though, which is amazing.
That's really cool.
It wasn't even about cars. Anyway, he says he'll be here around 5:12, which is 2 more minutes. And he's like, don't worry about it. No big deal. I told him the beginning of the show is just this anyway. You're just going to be sitting around watching this. At least he's avoiding this. There's lots of stuff to tell you, though. All right, I want to talk about... well, specifically, I feel like I owe an apology to a couple of people, one of which is Sully Sound and Sully's, he's here, though, Sully Sound and Bobby Bass, when and if, wherever he is. These are two people in particular that I was short with this weekend, and I have thought about it nonstop. It has bothered me ever since, and because of my own behavior, and it wasn't like, I didn't, you son of a bitch, there was nothing like that at all, but like both people it was an energetic thing, and I was, as usual, I'm generally protectant of your energy. Is that right? Protective. I'm spraying some protectant on you. Yeah, I'm protective of you and your energy. So I know when we first got to Breakfast Club, we didn't get our 5 minutes like we usually do. The energy came to us, and then we went across the street, which generally is the solve because it's kind of chiller on the other side. But we brought it with us anyway. We love everybody, all of those guys and people that were there. I think it was Kayla Marzo. I can't even remember, but I just know for one it was Sully Sound. Also, we found out afterwards it was your birthday. Happy birthday, Sully Sound. That's
birthday.
Why he said that he had the Motoring Club's Carrera rental,
Right.
He mentioned all of that, and he said he had it for the weekend. He was excited about all that. He fell in love. Now he gets the Porsche bug. He's got to have one. All the stuff. I get all that. Somehow in there, I completely missed that it was his birthday. I was like, this group, we would have sang to you, bro. If we didn't sing, we didn't know. So happy birthday, man. We love you. And then the same thing with Bobby Bass on Sunday. And we'll talk about the weekend, too, because we actually had it was a weekend of bad news and things not working out, but somehow there was always lemonade. Same thing. It was just hot. We had expended all of your energy to the pack that I was afraid you were going to stroke out or have a seizure. You were really not present, and I was like, I needed to get you out of there. Do you even remember any of it?
Yes, I can see it. I'm so sorry.
It's fine with me.
An out of body experience. Like I was there, I was cognizant, but like, good luck talking to me.
Yeah, it was rough, and that
my hands didn't work. It was a mess.
No, and that brings me to you lately. How are you feeling? Because you look adorable. People would look at you and go, "Holy crap!" Someone dressed her like a model, not like a. Like someone fit. Like for a model. You know what I mean? Someone put this together for you. Is what I should have said. And if they didn't know, they don't know.
Yeah, I just talked about that. It's a constant decline, but I might have something on top of the MS that's making that happen. Something with my thyroid.
Who is this?
It's Conan O'Brien.
He's not scheduled till next week. All right, come on in. MISHA's on his way up.
Anyway, there's so many factors, but I've made it inroads to get looked at, so hopefully I'll know more.
Okay.
I think it's treatable. It's just sometimes they go out of my head, and I can't explain it.
Yeah. Scary though. Anyway, so that was the Bobby Bag. It was like I knew when we were leaving. Well, here's the deal. So the weekend, huge Breakfast Club. That was amazing. I mean, like it was a big deal. And the energy was awesome, and it was very fun and cool and good. But Magnus was there, and we were all talking about, as you know, on this show, we were very excited to and planning on going to, excited for and whatever, the Fireball Tim / Magnus Walker Outlaw event over at Peterson. Totally planning on going. Well, on Friday morning, we talked to Magnus up at the hill, and I was like, so what's the plan? Like, what time are you planning on? He's like, oh, that's the thing. $1 million question. And he goes into the whole thing. He's like, well, I've got all these options. I can go early and set up. I can go the night before and set up. I could go late and drive in the exit. And as the outlaw that he is, that was sort of his plan where he was leaning towards. But either way, all of that, and we already knew at that point your energy was waning this weekend. Come on in, fella. But it was that conversation with him where we were like, gosh, come on in, fella. Where it was like, I don't even know if we should chance it. If it's going to be such a hassle, we don't want to get stuck and then not go in. You know what I mean? Just the whole thing. What's up, brother? How you doing? Misha's in the house, everybody. We're just talking about the weekend in Breakfast Club.
We're live right now?
We are live right now. If you want to have a seat in the stool there, you can hang
May
out
I
as
use
well.
your restroom first?
You know where you are. Help yourself to anything you like.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
He's restrooming. He's restrooming, and then he'll be in here. Anyway, it was Tony Rackley was up there. We were talking. Tony and I were talking to Magnus about it, and it just sounded like, oh, it's already a big deal. It's already a zoo. And we wussed out. We got a little friend. We were like, I don't know. We'll see. All right, so Saturday. We had all these. Friday was so great, and the energy was so good that we made all these plans for Saturday, right? You know how that goes.
Yeah.
We were going to have some car friends come over. We were going to do Weirdos in a movie, right? And then we were going to go to Porsche's, Andrew Florin's event. Chris Florin's son, Andrew Florin's event. On Saturday night, and everything. Once I saw how you were on Saturday, it was like, or actually when we came back from Breakfast Club on Friday. God, I know I'm talking to Milo a minute. I don't know why I'm getting all this out. I'm sorry. It was a disaster. We called it all off. We didn't do shit on Saturday. And then we thought, oh, well, we've rested up. We've got some energy. Do we do the Magnus thing or not? Well, we had this plan B, which was always there for us, which our friend hosts an F1 party that we like to go to. Oh, yeah, no, I know that. That was a text from... Yep. Got it. Anyway, so we ended up going to the F1 party because it was easy. We were like, all right, we know we can just go park on the couch. I mean, somebody literally will bring you drinks and breakfast if you want it, whatever you like. It was just very easy. And we did, and it was great. 15 minutes in, put the race on. And it's rain delayed, still, an hour later, called off. No race. So we skipped Magnus's thing to go to a race that didn't exist. Wonderful party, though, by the way. Huge thanks to Pops and Riff Raff crew and everybody who was there. Then we did the lemonade stand afterwards. So this is where Sunday got to be too much. And by the way, all of that would have happened if we went to the Outlaw event because it was on the roof, it was in the sun. The same thing would have happened.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
So I'm kind of happy that it happened at least in a smaller audience, I guess. He's making me nervous. He's like, "Oh, what's up?"
Should I just sit there?
You have a seat in the white stool there for just a minute. We'll just finish
white
this
stool. Okay, yeah.
or whatever, anywhere you like. That was just where you could.
This is where I'll be. I like this.
And then
I'll just
we
hide
can hear
here.
you if you say anything, then, because you got that mic there.
There we go. I could be your. There we go. Yeah. I can fix my hair with that camera.
It was the Stiglitz cam. Okay. Is there anything to tell you here? I can't remember. Oh, yeah. So we did the lemonade stand afterwards. So Pop's daughter does a lemonade stand over by their house on Mulholland Highway. And it's great. So all the supercars went out. The Countach is there with the doors open, parked out front. It was really cool, super cool. But it was also 107 degrees, and that's not an exaggeration. And that was in the shade where we were. You melted down. That's all there is to it. You melted down. We sort of knew. I mean, we know heat's your kryptonite. We sort of knew you were already worn down. I think we just didn't know how bad. And then you just sort of turned off or went into standby mode or something.
For the record, I thought it was fine. Like, it's so crazy how this happens.
Yeah. You were, like you said, you were there, but you weren't fine.
I'm the last to know.
Maybe that's the gift of this whole thing, right?
I have to look at it that way.
At some point, the more you can let go of, I guess you're trying to hang on to everything. It's tough. Mentally let go.
I've given up on that. It's like let go of everything time.
Really? What does that mean?
I have to risk being nothing to be okay with anything.
Oh, I like that. I like that. It's like you're jumping off the cliff. You're just both feet in kind of thing.
Yeah. I have to, or else, because I just catch myself constantly trying to hang on to shit, and it's like, why? For what? So.
Well, as usual, we say it, but you're a trooper.
Thanks.
You are. Hello, goodbye, guys. See you all later. Oh, okay, bye, Calabarzo. Ars Gal is here, Galleria, so P. Surrett, there's a lot of new names here. Chi-Town Cruiser, we know you, what's up? Think Fink, Joe Lacrosse, James Cornish, McGoldbaum, Totes McGold, what's up, buddy? Surfer Spur, One Vintage, Damian Dorian, damn it. Chris has a camera. It's good to see everybody. All right. Did I do what we said we were going to do? I started with the apologies. That'll be a new segment, obviously. The worse you get, the worse I'm going to get, right? We say it on the show. I'm like, oh, if you could just take a deep breath in those moments and, just be a better person, get to your higher self and all that stuff. But it's hard when you're in the moment.
It's hard.
That's a lesson for all of us, though. Definitely for me.
You're good
I'm working on it.
You're a good example.
Oh, no. Yeah, watch me of what not to do. Hey, just keep working on it. That's what I put on for the notes there. Weekend. Snappy apologies. That's what All right. GVBC. It's time to talk very quickly about GVBC. Well, it's great. Everybody knows that. It doesn't need any more promotion, that's for sure. But I have gotten about 100 messages in the last 12 to 24 hours from everybody. People I know, people I don't know. Is it happening this week? Is it not? Will the forests are closing? All this stuff. This is a very complicated issue, everybody. I have my thoughts very well thought out for it. I don't know if you really want to hear them or not. I feel like some people will agree, some people won't. I'm definitely not posting about it this week. I'm definitely not saying, hey, everybody, come on up to the frickin' mountain. But the truth is, and I have investigated this, and I have looked into it with the agencies that we have relationships with that patrol the area up there, very clearly, what we do is about the only thing you can do. It's the only road open. If you're going up the front from La Cañada up to Newcomb's, that will be open, as I'm told. And it will be legal to drive on because Newcomb's is on private property. Now, the moment you stop on the side of the road, even, or on any of the national forest property, you become a lawbreaker and you're fucking up the shit. Just driving on the road carefully so that your car doesn't go flying off and start a fire is not a problem, as I'm told. Which is why the road is indeed open there. They're closing many other roads up there. 9 Mile apparently is already closed or will be closed at midnight tonight. They're closing the gate at Big Pines and also, I think, in Wrightwood as well. ACH is closed from Clear Creek onwards, and 9 Mile is closed. This is from the British car guy. Only open to Palmdale via AFH. Yeah, that's what I was told as well.
Interesting.
That's what I was told as well. So they're keeping the thoroughfare open for the commuters, and at the same time keeping the crest open for locals regular.
This is because of the fires?
Yeah, for the resources of the fires. Not necessarily that we're in harm's way, but we can't afford the resources kind of thing.
Right.
So,
that makes sense.
So my advice would be, if anyone is choosing to go up there, it's at your own risk. I personally will be carrying extra water in the car solely because if I see something, I'm going to put it out or whatever. I've never seen that happen. But I want to be extra responsible. It's the type of thing, like if we normally have a bottle of water each, we'll have 2 each or whatever the heck. Who cares,
Makes sense.
Which, by the way, it's a pretty much good habit actually anyway, because you never know when you get a flat tire or a breakdown or whatever up there. So that's what we're doing. It's to each their own. Definitely, I'm not saying you should do one thing or the other. Definitely don't want to be that guy. I read the same, but I always have a hard time understanding the specifics of the closures. Yeah, that's why I did some investigative work there. Guards Rad, hello. It's preventative, exactly. Yeah, people seem to get it. Our audience is a good audience. They're very smart. You guys are very smart. You're very logical. There's not a whole lot of people who just, we don't have a lot of, what they call trolls and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's pretty normal people.
You need a bigger audience to get the trolls.
Everything I read was like no hiking. Everything it sounded like no vacation activity. Like this isn't break time. So
The idea is they don't want anyone in the national forest because of resources. If someone falls and breaks their neck, if someone gets lost, they don't want to have to send a team out.
Right.
And
They don't want anyone doing a gender reveal in the middle of the war.
That's what happened, right? Didn't that happen last time?
yeah.
Yeah.
Shut it down for months.
Legitimately. So, yeah. I mean, like I said, we all get it. Not many people say that about car people. I don't know what I said. Oh, that we're smart people? Well, we're really lucky. I mean, if you're driving the cars that we drive up on the mountain road that we drive, you got to know what you're doing. You got to have your shit together. You can't be on cloud nine or you're going off. It's that simple. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but you're going off. It's that simple.
Yep.
It's like motorcycle logic, Everybody has an issue at some point, whether it's a flat tire or a falling rock. Like, you can't avoid it. It's like Deadliest Catch, 100% injury rate. You can't avoid it. It just happens eventually. But hopefully, it's just one of those little things and not, a deer or something worse,
Johnny hit his first deer in 30 years of driving.
Only less than a month ago, right?
Yeah.
Johnny Lieberman.
As you said, it's not a matter of if, but when.
Yeah.
30 years is good, though.
Numbers
that's
game,
great.
that's pretty damn good.
Johnny's a good driver.
And he's got more miles on the crest than almost anyone I know.
Probably.
He's got more than most people I know who live on the crest.
I mean, 3 decades of going up regularly, yeah.
Living at the foot of it, doing it professionally and personally for 30 years. Dear Lord, I mean, is there anybody with more? I mean, this almost might be a legitimate record.
I'm sure there are, but he's definitely in the top tier of, and not only that, but to do it in a way where he hasn't had any issues. Where that's his first deer in 3 decades.
It's amazing.
That's pretty amazing. That's a great record.
Johnny Lieberman, busting statistics all over the place. Love him.
He's
Bug
a
and Box,
special
what's up,
guy.
Randy Carlson? Smart Money Steve is here, bringing lots of water. He's spraying down. Thanks for the update, Jay. You're welcome. Misha gets it, says Michael Welly Media. Chris has a camera, says, deer strikes are what keep me up at night. I feel like I lucked out by getting that one out of the way when I was a kid with the 944 Turbo. I just, in my mind, I'm like, did it. It's not going to happen
everyone
again.
gets one to say it's
No, it totally could happen. It could happen tomorrow. The logic failed everywhere. But in my mind, like from a karma standpoint, I'm like, I got so much shit out of the way when I was a kid, like just life karma stuff, that I feel like we are smooth sailing these days. You're still paying for something. But once you clear that up, you're going to be golden. Oh, my God. Run out of tire or talent. Yeah, exactly. Oh, shit, man. You guys saw... This is what we didn't talk about. Last week on the way home from Breakfast Club. Well, I'll get Misha in here and we'll talk about that. Were you there last week?
Yeah.
So you know about the Nissan...
I didn't see it. I completely missed this, but I saw the video. I think you posted it.
Yeah. But the
And it's
Nissan
one of those
Kicks,
ones where I'm like, how?
like they said, too much, ran out of tire or talent.
I
one
mean,
or the other.
I'm almost impressed because how do you flip a car on a road like that, It's not like, he must have just gotten everything just wrong,
Yeah, if you look, where it was. It's the double carousel at the bottom, and he was on the first part where it goes around. Luckily, the helipad is right there, so they were able to land the helicopter right there for him. Is the screaming the worst part of that video, by the way? That's the worst part, I think. The screaming at the end. Oh, my Lord.
It's got.
And I cut it. David's video is longer than that because you hear him screaming the whole time. The whole time he pulls over and brutal. Anyway, that part of the road, right? The double carousel.
Yeah.
So I think he just cooked out. I think all the undulations of the
But
road.
it was
that
a
are
left
there,
turn. He understeered and then must have flipped on a rock or something.
He did.
Something must have lifted him.
From the guys who were behind said he shot up like a rocket and then did the.
Oh, he barreled and just ended up upside
Apparently
down.
he was screaming for a reason. Yeah, he was scared the shit out of himself. And amazingly, he got out and he was okay.
I heard he was fine. Yay, modern cars,
Incredible.
But
here's SoCal Porsche Addicts. That guy was riding my bumper, but I had no place to pull over. Yep. That scream is the worst, says Manuel Carrillo. I think you posted something online about it too. It was brutal. All right, so that's the other stuff. We'll do East Coast feed on Thursday. Pinstripe Chris and Carissable. You'll notice the DeLorean is back on the desk. That's solely because Pinstripe Chris took the Porsche, the Carissable Porsche, to go customize.
No way.
Can't
Yeah,
wait.
can't
that's
wait.
so
Yeah.
awesome.
I'm stoked. I said I gave him very little parameters, and he was like, "Don't tell me anything else. Just let me go."
Oh, so it's gonna be a surprise.
yeah,
That's,
yeah. I
that's
can't wait.
amazing. He's incredible.
He's awesome. I
Yeah.
can't wait, and to see what he does with it. A little car is going to be cool to me
Yeah.
because I would like a collection of those. All our friends would like collections of those. I would like to have that be something
him
he
start to
puts
get
out in the
commissions.
future. That's what I hope, dude. If you pay $500 or $1,000 or whatever he charges, I don't mean to throw out numbers, but whatever he charges for a custom deal like that would be awesome.
I mean, he's
It'd be
about
really
as
cool.
good as it gets. So yeah, you pay. You get what you pay for with that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. That would be kind of awesome.
And his face lit up with that opportunity. Like
I
he's
wonder
so,
if he could refinish a guitar.
so excited. Oh,
I mean, he can do anything,
Yeah.
right?
Right?
He can do anything,
Right?
Especially your guitars, at least the Fender ones. Didn't we look this up? Was it the old Fender ones that are
Yeah,
automobile paint?
Yeah, I think
They're
there's like
GM paint codes.
There's a weird connection between guitars and cars. Everybody likes guitars, cars. Like it's the same community.
yeah.
You know, if you work in one, you're a fan of the other, basically.
It's weird. There's so many guitar people who come up to GVBC.
Yeah.
Like you're not the only fella.
Yeah, well,
wild.
like I always go up with Tosin, who lives out here.
Oh, well, okay. You two are the two of the best. Sure.
So like, it's just, and I got him in the cars by accident. So I was producing his
All right.
album.
Well, I'm putting that on your content.
Yeah, there we go.
I got to do commercials real quick. Oh, and then Rami he did something here. There's a new book from Auto Conduct. I guess it's quarterly or something. Do you see this? Does everybody know about this? Drive All Things, but there's a little blurb in there about LA car shows, and he made sure there was a picture of GVBC in there, which is pretty cool. Very nice. Thank you, Rami. And then I don't know where these are available. I said, this is a really nice thing. How do you get it? He's like, well, you got to come to the events or do the thing. I was like, oh. Well, if you want to bring a box up here, I'm sure all these people would love to have them. And he's like, yeah. You know Rami, right?
that's what
That's
that
a great idea.
I just saw that. That's so funny.
Okay, and real quick. Five-fold collective. Like Ben? Ben folds five?
That yeah.
Not that band, that guy.
No, it's a singular. Ben Fold 5.
Five.
It's just a singular.
Five-fold collective. Mark F. Medina. Bobby Bass. Hey, y'all, you'll have to watch the playback for me apologizing to you. It was a good one. They say all that separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. St. Clair Insurance is a coverage for your toys. What a great guest we have here today to talk about car insurance and collector cars and coverage for those toys. Especially these days, collector car market is all over the place. The values are through the roof. Your car is not worth what it once was. Good business would be to go contact Jeff St. Clair at St. Clair Insurance and find out what the automotive coverage needs and options are for you and your collector car. I would go to coverageforyourtoys.com,
Coveredforyourtoys.com.
and have yourself a blast with Jeff St. Clair. Huge thanks to our friends over at Auto Kennel and our friends over at Tradecraft Farms and Sticky Vape who keep Mrs. Ryan medicated, which if we didn't have that, I'm pretty sure you'd be a total disaster.
Yeah.
No offense.
Oh,
At least this keeps you
no argument.
mildly happy and it doesn't really take the pain
it
away
lets
anymore.
me
But
forget about the rest of this sometimes, which I need.
maybe that's it. You just get so high these days that you forget that you're sick.
I never forget that I'm sick, but I forget because you can't get comfortable and lay down, so I forget how much that hurts.
People don't know you don't sleep well at all. You don't really sleep much at all because you're so uncomfortable. And that's a difficult thing. If you could simply sleep and recharge, you could theoretically heal a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
But you can't even really get your rest. You're just always running. You're like an iPhone that's like a couple too many years old, dropped a few many times, and like the battery percentage just won't ever really get past a certain. You can leave it charged in for days, but it's never going to get past. We're working on it. You're working on it.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job.
Thanks.
You should be saluted. I hope everyone knows that. On that lovely note, it's time to get our guest in here, right? I did all the stuff, right? Did I? I think we did. I think we did all the business. You? Commercials?
There's
Mansoor?
one more commercial, I think.
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay. Then we did everything.
I want to thank everybody for Yellow Car 2.0. I should do that, I
Oh.
guess. So Bilstein, Michelin USA, Bilstein US, FD Motorsports for the new exhaust coming from Darren Pfister, IPD Plenums, thank you for the IPD Plenum and GT3 throttle body. There's more. The huge thanks is going to go in about a week when all of this stuff actually happens to TLG Auto. All the TLC is going to be happening when we come home to TLG. So I should say yes. Get your Porsche some TLC coming home to TLG. Thank you for that. Other than that, no. I don't even want to know what you were thinking.
Never mind.
It may not be anything we're doing anymore, right?
I don't think that's it.
Okay. All right, everybody. Now it's time. Please, that Porsche girl's here. She came here to see Misha. Hello. And Triple
Whoa.
Caution's here. I'm going to here. Oh, let's do this official. All right. I'm going to move the Instagram audience over here. Misha's going to come sit in the seat. I was going to do it all on the fly, but let's be professional here. Let's take a quick break. You're going to hear some wonderful words from our friends at Oh So Delicious Hot Sauce. The hot sauce made by bears.
Oh, so delicious. It's the hot sauce made by bears. Garlic and serrano mixed with love and care. You can put it on your eggs, pour it on your rice. It's great on a leg, it's better on a slice. It's oh so delicious. It's the hot sauce made by bears.
Gonna say.
Oh, so delicious hot sauce. Great on everything except oatmeal.
Get your bottle today at ohsodelicious.org. $1 from every bottle sold goes to the National Military Family Association.
There we go.
What are you driving today? 63 356B. Hey, 111. What are you driving today? Here we go. Oh, this is fun, David. Thumbs up for sure. This just proves that you don't have to go fast to have fun. You don't have to go fast. Can you see my smile already? Okay, I'm impressed. You don't need to stick it. He's already got it. My car's going to feel slow as balls after this, I'll tell you that. Pedal down. Yeah, baby.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You're going to kill me for this, but somehow I'm going to have to. Until right now, from the moment you sat down till right now, we were muted.
Oh, nice.
Not over there on Instagram, but over here on the
Okay,
YouTube
well,
show.
well, there you go. So the live audience gets the.
Oh, that's so humiliating. Oh, it's always a problem. I can't do anything right for your people. Oh.
No,
God.
shall we start over? Let's start over for
I'm
real.
so sorry.
No,
All right,
no, you're
yeah,
fine.
I need to apologize to your people.
No apologies. We're just starting. We're starting from scratch. Here, I'm just sitting down. Hey, it's great to see you, dude.
The experiment with the Instagram thing had my attention, and then I didn't unmute us. Yep, my fault.
I don't think you need to apologize for free content.
What it was I really enjoyed our conversation last time, and it was just two guys getting to know each other because we hadn't done that yet. But I was interrupting you a lot. I was doing the Me Too thing and all that stuff. So I do understand what a lot of their point was. So I just wanted them to know. I didn't think your fans were dicks for bringing it up. I was just like, well, they're not quite as tactful as what we're used to dealing with, but they all have a point.
That can be true with my fan base.
I think it's just a scale.
They're intense. But it's been very good for my band to have intense fans, you know?
All right. Well, I love you. Welcome back. We didn't really get to the cars at all last time.
No, we didn't.
Really briefly because I was picking your brain about music. Now that we're back and everything's recorded and I'm humiliated and all that stuff. You still have the touring and the X3 daily.
Yes.
But you've gone through some revolutions.
Yes,
So what's up?
So I had that Huracan Performante, which I really, really loved that car. Had it for longer than I expected. I do have a car problem where I tend to just not have. I mean, I know everyone's got a car problem, so it's nothing new. But like,
She sees it, right?
Of course you do, of course. So generally 6 months to a year and a half might be pretty good. I had that car for almost 2.5 years, so I really like. That's a sign I really like that car. But I kind of did everything I was ever going to do with it, and it's like, all right, well, what's the next step? And I had a bit of an interesting adventure with a Ferrari. That's 2 for 2 on interesting adventures with Ferrari.
Yep.
Let me preface this by saying that it all worked out in the end, and I have to thank Joe Richardson for his help.
There you go.
Because that guy is awesome, and he did sort of put a good word in to make sure I got taken care of. And
Street cred. He's got the street cred.
he's got the street. He knows. Maybe he knows the people he could send to break some legs. I don't know. I'm not saying he does. I don't know what his methods
You
are.
went there too. Wow.
I don't know what his methods are. Well, I'm not saying he does.
No, of course not.
He's probably got a guy or a couple guys,
Many in between.
who knows?
Lots of insulation.
I'm not saying that they're Italian, but Ferrari, right? Sorry, didn't mean to knock that. But anyways, I'm trying to be diplomatic about it because, in the end they did take care of me. But, it's now 2 Ferraris, 2 for 2 with them being kind of difficult. I will say this came down to the dealership more than anything else. The car itself was phenomenal. So I got an A12 Superfast, which I will maintain. So this is the thing with Ferrari. Their cars are phenomenal. They really are. And for all, I could swear or should I not swear?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, for all the bullshit surrounding them and whatever.
Barely even a.
Yeah, I just want.
That's a colloquialism.
Yeah, I know. I just want to be respectful, but yeah.
You're the best.
But yeah, like for all the bullshit that surrounds them, on the press car side and the culture and clientele and whatever, they really do build cars that have certain je ne sais quoi to them. There is something about them which
Passion.
yeah, right. Or as my friend Chris likes to say, Fiorano.
Oh, yeah.
That's just, just get out of the car, just say Fiorano, right?
It's like Polio string cheese when I was getting magnifique.
But there is something undeniable, and it's kind of universal about it. Maybe it's the brand being so legendary and it's so built up. Maybe it's the fact that to me they're that brand that if you ever said what's an exotic car, immediately that's the first brand that would come up is Ferrari. And as far back as I can remember, a Ferrari is what I wanted. Like if I ever had the means, it didn't matter what Ferrari, but just a Ferrari, and it had to be red. It had to be Rosso Corsa, right?
I know you didn't build dioramas, but did you ever have like posters on your wall as a kid?
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff like- Oh, okay.
And this whole adventure started with my parents buying me a 118 like Bibarago diecast model
I
of the
that
F40
one.
of the
Yes.
F40. Yeah. And that just informed everything about everything I'd ever want, So maybe they should have just handed me like a doctor's degree or a lawyer or something like that. Hey, be into that, No, that was all out the window. It's like, no, I'm going to be into cars. I'm going to waste all my money on cars from now on.
Well, didn't we talk about this last time? Did
Maybe,
your folks
maybe.
want you to be like a doctor
They
or
wanted
lawyer
me
or
to.
something?
I mean, my dad followed a very traditional path of like you get good grades, you work hard,
Go be in business or
Go
something.
go do. I mean, my dad's an economist, but like.
Oh, he's literally in business.
Yeah, well, he's not in
Studies
business. He's not business. Like he works on like countries and stuff like that. Like works
Oh, wow.
works for like the World Bank and stuff like that.
Sure.
Which everyone thinks he's a banker because
Guess
of
what?
that.
That's business, by the way. He works at the World Bank. That's business.
It
Banking
is.
business,
Well, it's not banking. It's like country. It's like economies. It's like macro.
But he
macro
studies it,
econ-
right? He's not overseeing all that stuff, or is he?
No. I mean, now he's retired, but
Oh.
but it was his passion. Like he still loves it. Like even he got the same job right after retiring. He had to retire twice.
Because he started consulting or something?
No, he just got hired. I don't know exactly how this.
Oh, you're
This
available.
is back in the day where you could get these things called pensions when you
Oh,
retire.
God.
So he ended up retiring twice because he went right back to a similar job.
Yeah.
And now he consults. He just does anything he can to like stay in this sort of world. He really loves what he did and does.
So it was understandable that he would have liked you to have gone in something a
Yeah,
little more
yeah.
predictable. Okay.
Yeah, something more stable, whatever. And of course, in that generation, like there was a lot more job security, and you had things like pensions, which
Yeah.
are wonderful.
If you worked with a company for 30
Our
years,
generation doesn't get those. You'd be lucky just to not get fired after a while. You know,
Job security.
job security.
is
There's no
pension.
job security. No, now you have now seniority can be like it could be a liability because they're like, well, we could just hire this guy for way less.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
We have
you
to
don't
pay
want tenure.
No, you don't want it literally could be I've seen it be a liability. So whatever. Different strokes, as it were.
So you did still have the car posters. You were into cars.
Oh yeah,
obviously,
big
super
time.
early.
So because most people I guess know me from music, and that is a massive passion and love in my life. But that actually started much later. Cars, as far back as I can remember, I've been
Wow.
obsessed with cars. So when people ask me which one do I like more, it's kind of like cars. Not gonna lie, I love music, and music has been very good to me and has allowed me to do a lot of really awesome things in my life. But if I had to pick just one, yeah, cars,
Interesting.
unquestionably.
But you're at a place where, I mean, you love what you do in music. I know that we've talked
Oh, yeah.
off the air about
Yeah.
you're passionate about what you do, but like you also could be a car guy. Like you've done some, I know you're not a reviewer, but you've done some reviews lately that are really good, and you are a good driver. I drove with you just the other day, totally capable. If you wanted to do something like that, like passionately or otherwise, even if it was business related, you could if you wanted to. You know that, obviously.
So I learned a lesson with music, which was be very careful with the things that you're passionate about. Keep them a little bit precious, because I think we might have talked about this before, but like going through, from music being a passion and something that I'd love to have as a job, to sort of experiencing the reality of it and, in a sense, pulling back and trying to turn it back into a passion again, taught me that you need to respect these things for what they are and the dynamics. So, man, I remember talking to Farah one time, Matt Farah, and I was like, because we used to drive a little bit, and he's been so busy, it was really nice that he would drive with me at all, but
no, when you first started coming up to Breakfast Club, I think you drove.
yeah,
with him,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and the thing was like, I remember hitting him up one time, and he was like, "Yeah, man, like I've to drive so many cars this month, like I don't want to drive." And I was like, "Oh man, like I know that feeling. I've felt that way about music, and I would be really bummed if I let that happen with cars, where I have to drive them, or I always want to, and I think the cost of that is money." There are things I could do to not have to pay money and maybe trade some time and stress.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've learned that in some cases it is better to just trade money so that you don't have to trade time and stress, and you can just enjoy it for what it is. But I am trying to thread that needle, walking that tightrope a little bit, because if I could get some press cards, if I could find a way to do it where it is kind of casual, like I don't want to be a journalist. I respect journalists too much to ever think I could do that.
You don't have to do anything different than what you are already doing. You could just
Yeah.
simply have a YouTube channel. You have enough of a
Yeah.
following where you could get the press.
I wanna
cards.
find a
if
way
they're
to-
giving them to me, you could get.
I want to find a way to do it where it would make sense and I can do a good job, but there isn't really the pressure or expectation. But yeah,
Well, that's what I
that
mean.
would
If
be
it was just
wonderful.
your own YouTube channel,
Yeah, exactly.
something where it's content that you wanted to create, not content where somebody else is going like, "Oh, it's not enough of this or that."
Exactly. I think I am slowly working towards that goal.
Fair enough.
And
No pressure.
But that is I think you and I are seeing the same thing, where there's a way to thread that needle, because it is something that makes me very happy, and driving as many cars as possible is just interesting to me, both as a consumer and just someone who's passionate about it. I think I'm in this, when I was a musician starting out, and all my friends and gear nerds were trying to figure out what gear to use. I went through what I called a tone quest, which I'm still on. You just buy all this gear, trading in and out. Just you're iterating. You're discovering what you like and what you don't like, and what works and what doesn't work.
This
and
is
then,
evolution.
Yep,
I get
and then
this.
you
Development.
start to like hone in on what it is that you want, what's yours. And I feel like I'm doing that with cars as well. So yes, I'm going in and out of cars constantly, but I do feel like each one is a learning experience. So getting back to the 812, for example, that car was very different from what I thought I would want in a car, but I was also so blown away by that car. It took a couple drives to get the hang of it because it's so different. I'm so used to these like mid-engine cars.
Yeah, and that's so long.
It's
front
long.
engine.
It's kind of GT shaped, even though it's more of like a supercar in driving dynamics. And it's front mid-engine, but it's still front engine, and it's a big car. It's a big heavy car, right?
More like a Bonneville car aerodynamically. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
just so
yeah.
long and
It's got that classic car proportion, the 2/3 kind of thing going on. So there's a lot of hood in front of you. And I thought that car was so phenomenal. And actually, I don't think that car is an equal. for every other car on the market, I could name another car that's a competitor or something that really genuinely, it's like you could get this or that or this or 3 other options. I don't think there's an actual competitor to the 812 Superfast. I think it is
Whoa.
in a class of its own. And I was so blown away. I ended up selling it because there was just stuff with the deal that didn't work out the way it was supposed to. We're not gonna name names.
You still had it when I asked you to do the show again, and you were like, "Yeah, of course I'll do the show, but let's just wait a little bit longer and see how this plays out."
yeah, because maybe
I don't know
maybe I'd be talking about it a bit differently.
But you got a resolution, and
I got a
everything worked out for you.
resolution. They were in the wrong. They paid me money.
Yeah, worked out.
So I got money because they messed up. So I came out on top when I sold it. So there's no need to drag any names through the
No
mud
bad
or anything
blood.
like that. And the car itself was phenomenal. I'll put it this way: if the deal had been right, or if the car had been sort of as advertised, probably would still have that car.
Really?
Yeah, that car was phenomenal.
You liked it that much? I didn't realize
I'll put
that.
it to you this way: I would love to make enough money to be able to afford that car and keep it for the rest of my life.
Holy crap! The
Yeah.
one you got rid of. What a bold statement.
Not the exact spec
no,
that I
but
got.
what, an 812.
And 812 Superfast. I think that car will never. First of all, it wasn't made before, and it will never be made again. There's no car like it from the past, and there is no way moving forward unless maybe synthetic fuels become the absolute future. Unless something like that, and even still, I don't know how anyone would ever justify making a car like it. It's got a 6.5 liter V12, naturally aspirated, revs to 9,000. It's just
Screaming up the hill.
it
that
gets
thing.
the worst fuel economy of any car I've ever been in, and it is screaming. It just is so absurd when you look at it, and it works so well. It's such a cohesive package, and I absolutely fell in love with that car.
I never got to ride in it with you, but what did it sound like inside?
So inside, it sounded really good, but it's definitely like muffled, right?
Okay.
Because
Muted?
muted because of all the
Insulation
insulation and all that stuff. It is supposed to be a comfortable car at the end of the day, but you get in a tunnel, and from the outside, I could tell it was loud. And this is just with the stock exhaust. What everyone does is they straight pipe that thing because then it sounds like
Oh
an
my-
F1 car.
It already does to me, but yeah, I guess it would literally
there's a
be.
video online of like the Novatec in a tunnel, and it sounds like an old F1 car. It's
Like
it's
from the
enough to
70s.
sell me on the from like the late when did they run the V12s, like late 90s or early 2000s?
Oh, was it that late? Oh, wow, okay.
But like it's that ultra high pitched,
Yeah.
ultra high pitched
How
kind
high
of
does
thing.
it rev? Yours?
9,000.
9,000.
But some of these like it's specifically the Novatec. It like adds an octave, or it adds this tonality to, where it's just so you just
like
have to
a
watch this
tremolo
video.
or something
It gives
in
you
there.
it just gives you chills when you hear it. And I'm like, oh, I could have that. That's amazing. but yeah, it's a phenomenal sounding car, and they really got the dynamics right on it. Like what that car can do for what it is phenomenal. It even feels smaller when you're driving it. The only time that you notice how big and heavy it is when you go to brake at speed. So any speed over 110, which I know is a high number, but you know sometimes in a car like that you end up at that speed
We're
without
very
realizing
lucky.
it very quickly.
Yeah.
The other thing that it does, which is phenomenal, is
But
I
wait,
think-
what is the issue? Just simply that you're breaking a lot of weight? That's
yeah,
when you
it's like
feel the weight?
3,700 pounds,
Okay.
and like the brakes, you know, there's only so much.
Right.
Below that, they feel pretty good, which not
And you're
all-
used to the touring, which stops on a dime and everything else.
and
too,
like
right?
and like mid-engine supercars.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, it was fine. You just brake a little earlier than you normally would, right?
Sure.
And yeah, that's my only tip. But that car lets you have your cake and eat it in one way that I've never experienced, which is having a naturally aspirated engine that pulls with the ferocity of something that's turbocharged or supercharged, but with a pure response and sound of a naturally aspirated engine. It is the best.
Torque and then pull all the way through the band.
Because it's so big, and it's got 789 horsepower, 530 pound-feet of torque. So that's a torquey.
Where does it come on? Low?
I mean, you low-ish, not like turbo, not
turbo.
turbo low,
Okay.
but low enough. Yeah.
'Cause it's 6.5 is a
really
big
linear,
displacement.
really linear. I mean, it likes to be revved out, but yeah, you have choices with gears. You know, it's not like obviously, if you're in too high a gear, nothing's gonna happen. But like, you have more choices than in a lot of naturally aspirated cars that are less torquey,
Mm-hmm.
like the Touring, for example. So you get this insane acceleration from it. The car, I mean, the name, as everyone says, is very appropriate, super fast, because it really the speed builds in ways that are
How
unreasonable.
fast is your car, man?
Super fast, right? It should be called the ultra
What's up, fly
fast.
guy?
Just the ultra fast, man. It's beyond anything reasonable. And if you didn't have
Unreasonably fast.
I mean, if you didn't have a road like ACH or 9 Mile to enjoy it on, like, might not be the right car for you.
No, that's the thing. I mean, if we're so, that's what I was going to say before. We're so lucky with having the ability to stretch these cars out, having these roads where literally they are reviewed by the manufacturer.
Right.
It's so
perfect
crazy.
perfect testing ground for a car.
For you to own, and for anyone here to own cars like that where you can, but anywhere else, what are you doing? I mean,
Yeah.
I guess Texas, and I mean, there's plenty of states
Well,
where
in
you can go
Texas,
straight line
in
fast.
Texas, yeah, you know, there's
Florida.
there's highways and straight roads, and you roll race. That's
Right.
what you do, and that's its own thing, you know. But this is a very unique advantage if you happen to be in the LA area. But yeah, I really loved that car, but got rid of it. Got a 720S.
There it is. Now
There it
you
is.
surprised all of
720S
us.
Spider.
You
Yeah.
surprised all of us because we thought you might do something else, but we weren't sure what. We
Yeah.
didn't see that coming.
So
I thought you'd either do another Lambo or another Ferrari.
well, you know, McLaren's the only brand I haven't explored. And as I said, I'm on my car quest right now, so I wanted to understand. It's actually been nice because now I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of like the philosophy of these four major brands, like Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, and now McLaren, and I can see what's important to each brand, and why things are the way that they are, and that 720 has to be the best mid-engine supercar. It's like I'll say with everything's sort of a compromise. So, you know, you might get more performance at the cost of comfort, right? You might get more practicality, but at the cost of performance, whatever it is, or weight, right? So you know, every car sort of exists in this little circle on these, like, you know, diagrams on this XY axis of whatever. But the
perfect bend.
breadth of capability is just wider. So it is more comfortable than most supercars, but also has more performance. And it's also weirdly practical. And it's also very refined. And it manages to be way better around town and just in just regular driving than most supercars. And then also will destroy all of them in a straight line, and also be very happy at the track. No drama there. You know, when I do track days, I feel like when you go to the higher end track days, all I see are Porsches and McLarens. You don't really ever see Ferraris. You don't really see Lambos or anything like that, because Porsches are pretty indestructible. And the McLarens, you know, they have but when they work, and they
are
can
just so
handle heat.
capable.
They're very capable, and they're nice cars to drive. Like, that car is not as snappy as like a 488, for example, and it's got magic suspension. The 720S suspension it defies description, because between the carbon
Give it a whirl.
you should drive it. You should drive it. I'd be very curious to see what you think, because you're getting this almost race car level lack of body roll, but yet it's very good at absorbing bumps. So it doesn't make sense in your head, because you'll be like, for the amount of body roll I'm getting around this corner at this speed, I really should be getting shaken around. And yet the car just seems to be gliding. Everything it
interesting.
does, it glides. Even the way it builds speed, it's so fast, but it's not violent. It glides you. You're like, oh my God. But it never really feels, it's so balanced. Everything about the car is in perfect balance. And it feels like everything is in its right place, and nothing is really overwhelming any other aspect.
Wow.
So I think it's just
hugely
a
high praise.
Yeah,
Everything you're saying is how I feel about Porsche.
blown away. Absolutely blown away. I've always been curious about McLaren, but the reliability has really scared me, and the residuals have really scared me.
Yeah.
And you know, I have enough friends who have them to hear these stories. I mean, I know two people whose McLarens have caught fire. So, like, let's be real here. Like, what I love about McLaren owners is I feel like they're the only guys who will not sugarcoat the experience to you.
Oh, that's interesting.
They'll all be very honest. They'll be like, yeah, it caught fire. Yeah, it breaks down all the time. Oh, yeah, I have this or that. But they still keep the car because it is that
When
good.
it works, it's that good.
It's that good. And knock on wood, no issues so far. I've had it for about 2 weeks. I've already put like 1,600 miles on it. I've just been driving the crap out of that thing. It's just so nice.
Did you buy it out here or did you buy it at home?
No, I bought it in Denver.
Oh, okay.
McLaren Denver, very, very nice dealership. And this time I've bought cars sight unseen before, but after the Ferrari experience, I was like, I'm gonna go check it out. Very nice dealership. They let me take it out into their canyons. Like they let me do like 2 test drives. Yeah, I got to really suss it out there.
I guess if you're flying out for it, they treat you as a real buyer. Right?
Yeah, well, they knew that I was serious, and they were taking in the A12 and all that on trade.
Yeah, okay.
So
you're showing up with money.
Yeah.
Okay.
They know I'm not trying to joyride. They knew I was serious, but it's still nice. Not every dealership would necessarily do that. So props to them. Very, very happy, and the whole process. It was actually kind of complicated for a number of reasons, like with like Texas registration and whatever. But like they got
bought it in Denver. It's got to be registered in Texas.
And so like it was just and well, COVID has slowed the registration down.
Yeah, any clerical work.
Yeah, so but they worked with me. They were fantastic to work with, and very patient. And now I've already planned the next move.
Oh my God! Holy, we've got a scoop here.
Yeah, you got a scoop. I haven't told a lot of people about this.
What's up?
So first off, I have to thank Johnny, because Johnny was the one who Johnny Lieberman, he was the one who hooked me up. I hit him up on a whim.
In case you don't know,
I'm Johnny Lieberman, and you're watching LNP. What does LNP stand for?
Late Night Playset.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've been on there. Yeah, good show. You should like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
that Johnny Lieberman.
Yeah.
You were saying?
Legend. So I saw, obviously the 765 LT, which is the track focus. Everyone has their version. Ferrari has the Pista, Lamborghini has the Performante.
Yep.
This is their track version of the 720S. So it's a little less refined and comfortable in favor of extra performance. From all accounts, it's absolutely insane. That came out about a year ago, and I guess McLaren's slowing down with their product releases because they waited a full year this time to release the Spider or announce the Spider. So good for you, McLaren, because I think that'll help your residuals and your customers. But it's a limited edition car. They're making 765 of them. Only about 400 will land in the U.S. Ooh. And I was like, hey, Johnny, like this is just a Hail Mary, but I was like, hey, Johnny, any way that like I could get one of these? And he was like, let me make some calls. I hope I'm not like saying stuff I'm not supposed to.
No, did you just say it on a whim? Like
yeah.
Hey, work your magic, that kind of thing.
Well, because he was there when I kind of decided I was gonna get the 720S. I got 720S Spider. He's like, be careful, because if you drive this car, you're going to want to buy it. And then later that day, I literally found the car at McLaren Denver that I ended up buying. Yeah. It was like, Johnny and I really get along on a lot of levels. And as much as we disagree on some stuff, and I love how opinionated he is, we generally agree, philosophically. And
I
so
find similar, yeah.
Yeah, so and every time
he's also just a genuinely good person. So that's easy to align with.
He's the best, but like especially when it comes to cars, I really trust his opinion. I've told him I bought the Performante because I saw his review on it and he called it a game changer. Shit. Yeah. No, I'm not kidding when I say like I've always respected his opinion because he's very outspoken. When something sucks, he does not sugarcoat it.
Yes.
But what it means is that when he praises something, I know that it actually means something.
It's really good.
And although he will say till the end of time that I bought the wrong GT3 because I got the touring and I should have gotten the one with the wing. He likes the one with the wing. He says
I'm with you all day.
He says I got the circumcised Porsche. Well, we'll never agree. But he did say that the GT3 is one of the best cars available on the planet. And that's exactly how I feel about it. So I trust the guy. And yeah, I got the 720 basically like with his warning being like, be careful, dude, you're going to want it. And he was 100% right.
And there it is.
So I was like, hey man, like, and I hope I'm not outing something here. Anyways, he made that happen. Long story short, he made that happen. So I owe him several steak dinners and a lot of fine whiskey as a thank you.
We've got a really good group for stuff like that. I think I'm not going to say it here because I don't think it's out yet, but I know I told you when you told me this story that Matt Farah helped somebody very high profile get a very high profile car as well.
Yeah,
a very limited number high profile car simply by, it pays to help. It helps to know people.
But you know, every industry is like this. Like the music industry is exactly the same way. Forget if we like touched on this in the last time we talked, but people are always like, how do you enter? It's like just enter it. Like, be a merch guy. Do merch for free for a band, you know? But once you're in, you'll meet so many people. And then if they know that you're cool, they're going to want to, it's all just vouching.
Yeah.
Like, people want to have the
hired from
cred or
within.
whatever. But, like, literally, as long as you're just a good person and you do good work, everyone will love you, and you'll go from being a merch guy to being a tour manager in no time, you know? As long as you work hard, and then you'll know everybody. And, yeah, if you ever need anything in that industry, you'll have people who'll be genuinely happy to help you out. So yeah, we're very lucky to know people like this, and I again have to thank Johnny, but he managed to get me an allocation for the 765 LT Spider,
Woohoo!
which I locked in the order in for yesterday.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So, and I am justifying this as a financially responsible purchase because the residuals on the coupe are phenomenal.
Yeah, you've already made money on that car, I would assume.
On the coupe?
Yeah.
Well, no, but I have negotiated. Like that's basically
You're not
not going
gonna
to
keep
cost
the
me.
coupe. You're gonna
I'm
flip
going to
it
trade it,
into
and
the
it
Spider.
won't cost me anything
There
to
you
own
go.
that car.
There you go.
Which is great.
There
So
you
free
go.
McLaren's
That's
always
a
a
Matt
good
Fair
McLaren.
lesson right there too.
Yeah. Well, I'm very strategic with what I do. So like the past 2 or 3 cars, I've actually made money off of. I haven't lost money on them, but I'm okay with it. This is my hobby, so it's okay to spend money on your hobby. But this market's crazy, and I'm taking advantage of it. And if you can, so you're in this weird situation now where if you can sell a used car but buy a new car at sticker, you're gonna win.
Yeah.
So that's effectively what's happening. But I'm not buying the car to flip it. I think I love the 720 platform so much. That's something that is geared more towards track use, and I will take this to the track. You know.
Yeah.
I will drive this in the canyons, and I will take it to the track, and I will do all that kind of fun stuff.
I know you took your touring to the track. You took your Performante to the track too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, taking the Performante to the track was part of why I sold it. Now, that wasn't great. It was great, but that's where I started to realize, like, don't get me wrong, I love the Performante. I would call that car a little bit of a training wheels car. And I don't mean that as an insult because I needed training wheels. You know, it's a great way to get fast. You can set very fast lap times. But that car is covering up a lot of bad habits.
Oh, wow.
Between its traction control system and between the
it absorbs the human.
A little bit, and between the all-wheel drive system and it's all phenomenal. You can turn insane lap times, but it'll cover up habits. And once it also I bet I haven't pushed it that far, but like I bet that if you got past the point to where it could protect you, you'd be in a lot of trouble.
Oh,
so
yeah. Once you're gone, you're
because
gone.
that car is so capable, and as a feat of engineering, it's phenomenal. But yeah, it does cover up a lot of mistakes. And I remember taking my roommate's 718 GTS, and that was about 5 seconds slower at the track.
Oh, I
but
know that
twice
car.
as
I
fun.
like that
Yeah,
car.
but
Yeah.
but twice as fun. And I was like, this is a much more rewarding experience. I feel like I'm working for it. I feel like I'm much more part of what's going on, and that car does force you. If you're near the limit of that car and you're not on top of it, you will spin. So it doesn't matter. I've lost it. I've almost lost it with traction control on. Like
in the GTS.
Yeah, you can get some slip angle going.
I'll tell you what, you also put a tremendous amount of faith in your tires, in your lateral Gs, because I went driving with you the other day in somebody else's car, in a different car, like not a supercar. What the hell were we in? Would you call it a Quattro Formaggio?
Oh yeah, Quattro Formaggio, yeah.
Or Quadriplegia or something like that?
Yeah, it's Jeremy Clarkson.
Oh, it's hilarious.
But
the Alpha.
Yeah.
So we went and drove it in that.
Quattro Formaggio.
It was the souped up one with the Ferrari. And
Yeah. It's the one to get.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
But even in that, I was like, oh, okay. So you're all about turning the wheel, which is very cool. A lot of people are afraid to turn the wheel. Some people will literally go push off because they're afraid to crank harder.
Oh, okay.
And you're not. So did you learn on the track?
Sim racing.
Loss of grip.
No, sim racing.
Really?
Sim racing has taught me. I learned how to heel toe from sim racing, like and car physics, because it's really good. It may not be 1-to-1 in the sense that the amount that you slip and whatever, they're all interpretation of physics. But you will learn the habits, like don't brake when you have steering lock. Just keep like maintenance throttle and straight and just all these habits, because it's like, oh, every time you just panic brake, oh, I spin. Yeah. And in the sim, I don't ever use traction control for most things because it's just slower. Now, I also crash a lot, but that's fine.
But that is okay.
Yeah.
You're learning by doing that. I do the same thing.
And if I ever go to a track, I will spend quite a lot of time doing it in the sim. And although it wouldn't translate 1-to-1, and this is one thing where Johnny and I will disagree all day long because he hates the sim and whatever. But I will say, like, at least I know what the layout is.
Yeah,
I know where to
100%.
place my car. And in the good sims, I even know what gear I should be in. That all translates very accurately.
Absolutely.
So especially,
do you have one that has the crest in it? You don't have like a
yes,
Assetto Corsa?
Yes, I do, and that is a fan made thing.
I've never done it. Is it good?
I've
only
only
seen the YouTube videos.
It is good. I mean, that.
You know the real one very well.
Yeah,
is
so
it it's
1-to-1. Yeah. You'll
representation?
recognize every turn. I'll say there's not as much camber on certain turns.
But the video I saw, like, you could take a left and go down Forest. You could take a right. Go
No,
up
it
9
is
miles.
1-to-1.
It's the
So they
whole area.
did I think a laser scan of it or something. They did some technique where it was very accurate because all the turns are the right length,
Driving
radius
all our real
correctly.
roads.
It looks. You'll know exactly where you are if you're driving. You'll know if you know the crest. You'll know exactly where you are. They did a phenomenal job, elevation changes and everything. I'm nitpicking, and it's some of it's the limitation of the sim itself. Some of it's also the limitation of it being such a large map, and then there's also just detail stuff like in real life, this turn has a bit more camber, or whatever. But it's insanely accurate.
You've driven the Nürburgring or no?
Yeah, I
you
have.
I haven't yet. But they say, and I know it so well from the sim or from the games and everything. They say that'll help you learn the layout, but that doesn't do anything for you for the undulations.
So
and stuff like
it's a
that,
great example because
supposedly.
I know the layout of the Nürburgring incredibly well, but going there in real life, it means I know what turn is coming up next. But
Not how to
I don't
handle
take
it.
it with nearly the velocity. I mean, Nürburgring's terrifying because there's no runoff. It's relatively thin, and it's a very unforgiving track. I did
Everyone's watching.
I do my first 2 laps in the wet in a Polo GTI.
Oh my god!
And it was a blast. I had that guy Misha, great name.
Yeah.
From Apex, Apex Nürburgring or Apex Nürburgring, whatever it's called. Robert Mitchell's company.
Okay.
And he was a phenomenal coach. I was like all worried about crashing and about getting insurance, which was like insanely expensive. He's like, just get a coach. It's the best insurance you can get. And I couldn't agree more. Like he was so on top of it. I had a phenomenal time, and I did 2 more laps in the dry the next day. If I am ever even proximate to that, I'll go back out and do more laps with Apex because that has to be experienced. But the thing about the Nürburgring, it's so long and complex that if you just went there and just started driving it, like you could drive because you'd listen to them, but you would constantly being like, what's happening? I knew the layout, so I know exactly what the turn is like. But yeah, the elevation changes. You don't like going down into Foxhole. Oh my God, you're going downhill through these S's. And it is so steep, and the last thing that feels like you should be doing is accelerating.
Hammer down.
But they're like, no, go, throttle. So you're accelerating down this thing, and then there's this compression at the bottom, which is really, you don't feel the compressions in the sim.
Right.
But in real life, that's a real thing. And then you
Jeez.
feel how you could just grip up thanks to that. And, I also
Your
did
car's
some...
velcroed to the ground in that compression.
Yeah, well, I also did some taxi laps where they were driving a 600 LT. And, like... That car accelerates on flat surface in a straight line incredibly fast. Guess what? It accelerates even faster going downhill. So going down there, it was just like, this feels wrong. And I asked the driver, he's like, yeah, I'm only going about 6/10. He's like, I'm not really using the curbs. I'm trying to extend the life of the tires and the brakes and everything. And to me, it just felt like 12/10. I was just like, oh my God.
We're tired of mopping up urine.
Yeah, man. It was smooth. It wasn't like scary other than every part of my brain's like, this is probably not supposed to happen. Like, you're not supposed to do this. If you're going downhill, you shouldn't be increasing your speed. It was a crazy experience, and I highly recommend it to anyone who is anywhere near the Nürburgring.
It was always a dream of mine to get a ring ride with Sabine Schmidt, and obviously that'll never happen. But
unfortunately, rest in peace.
That would have been a really cool thing for me.
Yeah, but I will say,
in the M5, not in the van. She took clutches around the transit van.
I mean, that would have probably been all right. She still overtook everyone anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I don't know if she broke the record, but she did. Drove the wheels off.
I mean, that's a race car driver driving like a race car driver. Here they're driving like, there's lawyers and liability. So, but for me, it's still the fastest thing in the world. It's the fastest way I ever experienced that track. I highly recommend it. And then go drive it in a front wheel drive slow car, because slow car fast, right?
Slow car fast.
And it was, and I remember doing a couple laps in that and being like, I don't know why I would need anything faster.
No.
Of course, that would change if I lived there, which I would like to do someday.
You only
but-
needed a GTI for the crest to have fun. You know what I mean? That's all
No,
you
no,
need,
and it's
you
very
know?
much the same thing. It's very much the same thing. It's like you could
In
have
fact, a
so
Miata, a 25-year-old Miata is probably the most fun car you can have on the crest.
Yep.
Second to your Touring.
yeah, the touring is pretty
The
special.
Touring.
But yeah,
Any 911, but the Touring up there is just so great. It's perfect.
but just going back to the sim real quick,
Okay.
like that yeah. You can learn all this stuff. You could learn technically the crest. You could learn Nürburgring in the touring.
Do you think that the sim racing, which we didn't have as a kid, well, maybe you're a little younger than me. I didn't have it as a kid. We had video games and stuff,
I didn't have
but
it
it was
as a
like
kid.
pole position and Spy Hunter and shit. Outrun, test drive. Do you think that the sim racing that almost every kid I know has, at least a controller, if not the whole rig, at least has an Xbox or a PlayStation, is helping kids be a better driver? Because in my mind, 5 years ago, I would have said no. I would have said, no, I was teaching everyone to race the hell.
On the
Nowadays,
road?
based on what you just said, the car physics thing is an important lesson that you don't even get at the DMV.
Yeah.
I didn't get that till I took a stunt driving course at Skip Barber's at Lime Rock when I
Right.
was 16.
Well, I think there's two parts. I think on the road, probably not. And I feel like drivers are really bad on the road. Like I don't mess with my cell phone when I'm driving, but I see people constantly like this. And
What's the zombie apocalypse? is what
Yeah,
we call it,
yeah. So I think in that sense, probably no. And what's probably worse is anyone who's got experience, but also is the type of person to do that, probably feels like, oh, it's okay, I got the
Wicked
skills.
confidence. Oh, yeah.
So it's a dangerous combination. However, if you're talking about like sim racing specifically, because what you're talking about video games and controller, that's one thing. But sim racing is its whole subset.
Disciplined.
And that's where it's less about like a career mode or whatever, and it's more I want to study the art of driving and race online with people. So the physics is they're usually very dry games with very bad UI, and it's not about that. It's about getting in whatever car and racing,
And
right?
doing the calculus of getting around.
Yeah, and it's very much about the physics and the force feedback and all that being somewhat accurate. So
What rig do you have? Do you have a good rig?
yeah, I have a pretty serious rig. I started with something kind of basic, but now I've got like a Fanatec
You do?
podium direct drive wheel. I've got a pretty serious rig that doesn't flex.
The gas shock pedals and all that stuff.
So even my pedals are like $300, but they're not considered the good ones. Like I need to spend like $700 to get the good ones.
To get the good ones. Beauty.
But yeah, like it's still good enough to. There's a lot of this stuff where there's a debate because people will have like the entry level Logitech wheel, which costs like $150 or $250, and will be setting world record laps with them. So the gear
The old
won't make you
G25?
fat. Yeah,
I remember that. That's 15 years old.
It won't make you. Well, there's not the G29 or whatever. It's
Yeah.
the current expensive version. But it's still it sucks. It's not a good wheel. But
If it's the one that just came out at Christmas, we did a review on it, and it sucked.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said. It sucked. I was so
but
disappointed.
there are literally people setting world record lap times on it. So people
I
people
suck.
just like with everything. Well, just like with everything, like okay, in a car, I want to go 2 seconds faster around. It's like driver mod, dude.
Yeah.
That's the cheapest mod, right? It's kind of the same thing. So people want to buy their way. They're like, well, maybe the steering wheel. I will say the pedals make a big difference because the pedals are the worst part of that. So get a decent load cell pedal setup. But then other than that,
For me, it was. I couldn't hear the game over the wheel.
yeah,
All this
I
crazy
mean,
stuff.
it also doesn't have a lot of force. So the one I have is a direct drive wheel, which is
That's the shit.
very very fast, very accurate, and it has a lot like too much force.
That's the kind that'll fling the. If you hit a wall or something, it'll fling the wheel out of your
Well,
hand.
it depends on what you're playing, but yeah, there some
Like
of these
it's torquey.
have kill switches. Yeah, so it's got 25 Newton meters of torque, so it could hurt you. So they have kill switches on some setups. I don't ever run it that high because none of our cars would do that in real life. But if you're racing like an old car or like Indy car and you want it to be accurate, yeah, you could get like accurate levels of force.
I'm trying to think Formula One, like Formula One these
No,
days,
Formula
yeah.
One wheels are light.
Really?
Yeah, they're light. Very,
No
very light.
kidding.
It's
They don't
it's
feel it
power
anymore.
assisted. No. Power assisted. But old school Formula One cars.
How far back do you have to go before all the computer wheels. And
You know,
all that
I
stuff?
don't know exactly, but I know, like, for example, Senna's famous lap around Monaco, like that's not power assisted.
In my mind, I thought it was still a solid rack and pinion. I didn't realize it was.
It probably is, but I think it's just heavily power assisted. And it's probably one of the only quality of life things on a Formula One car because the braking, and you have pedal sets that you could buy, like Hoisingveld, I think, does the Ultimate Series pedals are like $1,100, and those you can apply something like 200 pounds of pressure to get maximum. Because the Formula One cars you have to do.
I've seen those, but it actually looks like the Formula One. It actually looks like the
Yeah,
real
and there are
mechanism.
ones that are
That
even
thing
more-
Probably weighs about 30 pounds. That plate.
I don't know. There's ones that are like also hydraulic, like they have like actual hydraulic systems.
That's
so
what I'm
it's-
talking about. There's actual.
those cost like $2,000. Like, but there's ones that are designed. There's ones that are designed so that you can like do full braking force. Because you have to realize these guys sometimes supply actual teams for their actual professional sim rigs. So like, it should feel like the actual car.
They're actually matching a real. Yeah.
Yeah,
That didn't
yeah.
occur to me.
A lot of these
God,
companies.
it gets so intense.
Yeah, but think about it. If you're running a race team, if you can do as much sim time as possible, it's way cheaper than running a car on track.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so they're
And
now
you're not
sims.
you're not damaging a thing.
No, now sims are, and now it's like the professional stuff and the consumer stuff is slowly kind of creeping towards one another. So there's a lot of guys. This is game Assetto Corsa Competizione. There's two guys who race actual GT. It's GT3 and GT4 cars, but there's two guys who race actual GT3 in real life, and they're both also big fans of the game, and they race as themselves in the game when they stream.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
David
hilarious.
Perrell and James Baldwin, both, and James Baldwin, I think, got an attempt at driving for Jenson Button's GT3 team because he was so good at sim racing. And so competitive. They put him in a car, and he just demolished. He was just immediately amazing.
It's hilarious that you bring up Jensen Button. That's where I was going to go with this. Not just, but a few months ago, I had a conversation with him over at Matt Ferris.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
When he and Ant were doing the show, and somehow we were talking. It was like right at the end of COVID, the second or third end of COVID, way back whenever that was, and he was talking about how they were running, the sim races. They were racing sims because they couldn't race the real season, but it was for real points. Which is real money, which is real people's jobs and real championships.
Well,
and all that stuff.
in F1 they weren't racing; it was just for fun. There might have been certain things, and there are definitely leagues.
Okay.
There's definitely leagues that race for real. You can make money being a sim racer.
Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well,
And
whatever he was saying, it made me I told him I want my $20 million out of my Forza account. Like somebody buy
yeah,
that.
but you want to know what's wild is like because it is the most spec of spec series. Because even in a spec series, you have different setups and you could have whatever. Like if you look at like the F1 sim racing series, the qualifying, like the top 20 might be separated by 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's insane margins. The margins, I mean, you're really talking about like thousandths of a second being the difference between pole position and fourth place or something like that. So it's so competitive. But now the barrier to entry is a lot lower because think about it, racing is probably the single most expensive thing that you could ever get into. So you really just kind of had to be rich to get into it. But now you could just be talented and have enough to have a sim rig, which isn't cheap, but also is a lot cheaper. For the price of a spec Miata, you could of like a NA spec Miata.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Or less, you could have an entire an amazing sim rig that you could build an entire career off of, and there's no consumable cost. So it is one of the cheapest ways to sort of get your talent
downloadable
out there.
updates,
right?
downloadable content.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so you're keeping the. Are you going to keep the touring forever? I mean, assuming.
Well, actually, I'm not supposed to tell anyone this either.
Sold? It's already
I did
sold.
drive. No. I always say I would never sell the touring because I love that car. The only other car I would sell it for is a touring. The 992. I drove one. I'm not gonna say it was a friend's.
Yeah.
It was a friend's touring. I drove.
Was it the one that was up there the other day?
I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay, I got it.
But I drove a friend's touring and it was really cool. And I have thoughts.
Yeah.
Because I think, I was really curious. Part of it was like, I love my touring so much. It's the first time that I haven't been tempted by what's the latest and greatest.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love this car. I've bonded with that car. That car is my car. The spec is perfect. I'm down to keep that car for the rest of my life. Like if everything went wrong and I had to sell everything, it's the last car I would sell. Even before I would use it as my daily if I had to. And just, that would be my car.
Yep.
love it so much, and I've gotten offered stupid money
to get rid of it.
For that from strangers. Absolute strangers have been like, I'll give you like 30, 40 grand over what you paid for it cash tomorrow if you want to sell it. And I'm like, you know, the logical part of my brain is like, you really should do that. You've never made that much money off of a car, and you're supposed to lose money off of a car. And the other part's like, no, but I love this. I love, and that's why I haven't. Is because everyone's like, well, would you get? I just try to get another one, and that's stupid because they're also 40 grand over it.
Yeah, and you have the one you want.
And I have the one I want. And then this 992 is intriguing because, you know, it's fundamentally a little bit different. They got that double wishbone front end.
Was this your first 992?
Not my first 992, but first 992 GT3. Yeah, and I've always liked
Carrera S before or Targa.
Yeah, just Carrera S,
okay.
which is a phenomenal car and insanely fast.
Yeah,
but not like I'm always like, this is impressive and it's great. And I guess if I was, you know, that would take up the supercar slot, or the Turbo S would take up the supercar slot or whatever. But I'd rather have my mid-engine thing there.
Yeah,
I've always loved the GT3s. To me, like it was just. You know, having a manual for one, and I haven't driven the 992 manual, but I heard the 7-speed's not as good as the 6-speed. I don't know, but I'm just going off of things that Johnny tells me.
I haven't driven the stick. The 992 I had was PDK.
Yeah, and PDK is great, but like I kind of like the idea of the GT3 being a manual and naturally aspirated engine.
Yeah.
So this touring was that.
Well, and it should be 6-speed too. I don't know where the 7-speed comes in other than bullshit.
Oh, the 7-speed came in as it was explained to me because they literally just took the PDK gearbox and put a gear on it. So it's that 7-speed PDK gearbox, and you're just manually shifting it. So it's not designed as a manual. They made it work, and they made it work well, but it's not.
Is this the first time Porsche has done that?
No. They've been doing the 7-speed for like the 991.
No, I know, but they were always different transmission. The manual was developed separately from the PDK.
So the
the manual was always the old technology.
for non-GT products, the manual, the 7-speed manual that is in like all the Carrera S's, whatever, as of 991.1. My understanding is that it's literally just like they took a PDK gearbox and did a manual conversion.
Did not realize that. Wow.
So I've heard it's not bad, but it's not great. Not great, not terrible, right?
Well, I just don't like the weight of the 6th gear. Like, I like the whole R element. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they got rid of that gear because it weighed, and you didn't really need it.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think that the gearbox that's in the GT3, and I believe it's shared with the GT4. I feel like the
touring shouldn't be able to go as fast as the wing and everything else, you know?
I think it does. I think it's about the same.
I think it is, but I'm saying I don't think it needs to. No, meaning wise, it should gear out. I'm fine with it gearing out at 190 or whatever the fuck
right,
it is, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, the car
gearing out at 6th gear.
You know, I wouldn't mind that with a 7th gear just for the highway because the overdrive. You could probably use an overdrive gear because you're like 3.5.
It's too busy on the thing.
Or the gearing could have just been tweaked. Honestly, like 4, 5, 6 could be tweaked a little bit on that car. But that's nitpicking.
Yours is perfect.
It's nitpicking. I mean, I've owned the car, so I have my little nitpick. No car is perfect, but I don't need a car to be perfect.
Yeah.
I need it to have good character. I need it to make me feel things, and that car makes me feel things.
Wait, but your touring is 6-speed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's only these 992s and newer that are the.
No. Anything that's non-GT.
Oh my
Standard.
gosh! I'm sorry. So we've then I'm
the
then I
GT
didn't learn a thing.
anything that Andy at Porsche has touched is a 6-speed.
Right.
So GT4, GT3, it's the 6-speed. Those are the good ones. Yes, and this new one.
Well, then I agree with you. I hate the 7-speed. Always have.
Yeah, no, the 6-speed is perfect. But
apparently we didn't even have a misunderstanding.
No. I was just saying the gearing on 4, 5, 6 could just if they made it just a little bit longer, so you could just cruise it like 2,500 instead of 3,500.
Oh, I get you.
Get a little bit better gas mileage for those road trips, but that's my only thing.
I get you. You were saying
4, 5, 6 are just very similar gears. They're not that different. You're sometimes like, what's going on? 5 and 6 is there really that much? Anyways, the new one I don't know if it's just the differences between cars or whatever. I think that gearbox feels a little slicker.
Really?
A little more refined. Like, I like it.
Really?
And then the clutch is like a little lighter than mine, but it has a really good feel. And it's got a lightweight flywheel, which I really like.
That's like the R. I love that.
Because the one, yes. Because the one thing about mine, which I had to get used to, it's got a dual mass, which is great for around town, but it has less feel, and it means that when you go to blip it at low revs, you have to give it a little, you know?
Yeah, we're getting rid of that because the same thing. I want the single mass.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have
the one
chatter,
disadvantage,
have the responsiveness.
The one disadvantage is like Farah said in his review, and I've heard this from a few people, like they have stalled the car a few times because you got to give it a bit more gas when you're getting going. Mine, you can just let off the clutch and it'll creep forward, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the advantage of it. But I think overall I prefer the feel of that. So that's where I'm like,
When
lightweight
it's time
flyweight.
to do a clutch, get in there.
Well, if I need to do a clutch, hopefully that won't be anytime soon. That'll be expensive. But
No, but I'm saying once you're in there, why
I
would
wonder,
you not do the
I
flywheel?
wonder if that voids a warranty. They're kind of weird about that stuff, you know? Who knows?
I wouldn't know.
Right? Exactly.
Don't ask, don't tell. It's inside.
Your car's all good though.
It's inside. Oh yeah, well, we're well out of warranty. I'll tell you that.
You're getting work done to your car, right?
Lots of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
almost everything. We're calling it Yellow Car 2.0. I'm going to redo the
excited.
decals and everything probably just because it's so.
I overheard earlier. So what are you doing to it?
Thanks to all of these wonderful sponsorships and partnerships, Bilstein coilovers, the B16s all around. To replace, I had previously done the B6s, so we're not even on the stock suspension. I'd done B6s, but we kept the stock springs. That was a recommendation of somebody else. We're not doing that anymore. We're doing the coilovers.
It's like
all
3-way
around.
adjustable.
I think it's like 10-way adjustable.
Oh my
something
God.
Like that. Yeah, I don't know how to.
So it's like
do all
like
that.
full on.
Marco at TLG will play with the clicks and
That's
get
great.
it all sorted for us.
Yeah, you don't play with it. You have someone who knows what they're doing, but you can.
He grew up on the mountain and he knows Porsche.
The beauty of that is that you could get a setup that is perfect for the canyons.
That's
where
what he's going to build it for the canyons.
And it will that means it will also be comfortable because people keep thinking like, oh, good suspension means it has to ride like shit. It's like that's not true. If it's set up well, you could get good suspension that is perfect for
Ask any
whatever
European
road.
or anybody who's had a car older than when they were developed at the Nürburgring.
Yes, exactly. That's the problem.
Michelin tires, but you know that already.
Yes.
They've hooked us up.
Congratulations.
FD Motorsports doing the exhaust, or FD Motorsports doing Pfister design exhaust, titanium exhaust.
Oh.
And IPD Plenum and GT3.
What does that
body.
do? What is the IPD plenum?
Well,
I don't know what that is.
I didn't previously either, but this is where the air intake comes in, and it's really beautiful. It's the only thing that we actually have here. I'll show it to you before you leave.
Oh,
'cause
nice.
I got to bring it over there. It's actually gorgeously machined, but inside the intake or whatever, it's all divoted like a golf ball inside, and apparently that's
just
does,
magic. Magic
yeah,
divots.
apparently it's magic, and it gets the vacuum going or whatever else.
So you get more power out of that?
Oh yeah, like significantly, like
Wow.
30 more horsepower. And
Jeez.
it's all just from breathing better. And
Makes
it's a
sense.
change that they switched apparently to the 73 millimeter GT3 throttle body. Apparently they switched that at the Gen 2 997s anyway. So Porsche, it's a Porsche type mod anyway. So
it should be friendly. And do you
Stock
need a
plus.
tune? Do you need a tune to get all this to work?
No, shouldn't.
Wow.
Shouldn't.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
so this
'cause
thing's
it's an
gonna
old- the
sound
car's
better
old
and be
enough.
faster and handle better.
Yeah,
right?
theoretically. And then
Yellow
GT3
car
shifter
2.0.
and numeric racing cables, new shifter cables and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so theoretically, the whole user experience, everything should be better. Wow. Like it should be, great. And it sucks right now because everything, we're sitting on the springs, so it's like brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal. It's so uncomfortable. The car doesn't handle. You can hear the tires just screeching. Like we're wearing through the Michelins. It's hilarious. But in a week, it'll get in the shop.
In a week.
It'll all
And
be
then when
great.
will you have it back, you think?
Marco said a few days. I say a week or so, whatever he needs. But
That seems very quick.
I am grateful to them.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
They're doing it all at once
so
instead of like
this is about to
piecemeal.
happen. This is very, very soon.
September 8th it goes in. Yeah.
Wow.
And
I
I'm
can't
really
wait.
excited because it'll transform the car.
Yeah, let me drive it?
Sure, anytime.
Hell yeah.
Oh, anytime. Our car's it's not that fancy. It's special because it's not fancy.
That car is iconic at this point. I associate it with the crest, and I associate it with you, and I associate it with being incredibly dirty and like almost forgetting it's yellow.
It's been clean lately because of Matt Farah. Thanks to Matt Farah.
When you got it clean for the first time, I was like, "Oh my god, that's the color!"
He didn't know either.
And I was like,
blown
"That
away.
color rules." By the way, I love that color. And I
Nobody
think a
knew.
couple weeks later, it was back to like.
That's why we started cleaning it. We started keeping it more regularly, relatively clean because of that.
Yeah.
Nobody really had any idea, and we didn't know how much patina had developed because I think I told you last time it was windows out resprayed almost 5 years ago now when we first got it. So like the paint job looked like a candy coated M&M. Like there was not a single blemish anywhere. It was the best paint job I'd ever seen.
Wow.
So like the photos of it and the car itself just looked ridiculous. It was an old car that looked brand new. Like it was like a weird juxtaposition.
I remember seeing it in person, being like, my eyes don't understand.
So we ended up we stopped washing it.
Yeah.
Because then in pictures it became like
It started to look more like what you expect.
yeah.
Well, that's the
Nowadays
thing.
it just finally does because I think we wore it down.
That's
It's not shiny anymore.
that's the thing. Like you know, at GVBC, they're mostly dirty cars there. It's
lot
not.
of
This
them,
is
yeah.
not. This is not a car meet where you just show off your cars and coffee special.
Don't get there early so that you can polish your wheels. Get your toothbrush out.
No.
Make sure the wheels are perfectly straight.
Last time I was there, a bird had to be extracted from the headlight.
From yours? No, not
Yeah.
from your car.
Yeah, from mine.
Really?
I didn't even know I hit it.
Which car?
The Touring.
Did it break the headlight?
No, it didn't, but it was like kind of stuck in there. It was gross. Shout
Did you know?
out to Andrew Burns for helping me clean that up because
Angry Birds?
No, Andrew. I'm
He
gonna call
sponsored this bird hit. He sponsored.
Andrew Burns, who is now from now on renamed to Angry Birds.
Oh my god, that's so great.
Oh my god! I hope Chris is on and seeing that because yes,
I thought you got an app to sponsor your bird hit. That's genius.
I mean there were some Angry Birds after that. That's for sure.
God.
Yeah, that sucked.
Johnny-
I need to get that car washed.
Johnny was in it was a press car he hit the deer in, right? And
Yeah, it
then
was like an S
Basm-
class.
Oh, that's right, the big S class. And Basm before that in the McLaren, the deer hit
620.
him.
That was in front of me. That
Yeah.
happened right in front of me.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You saw the deer.
Yeah, I did. But the craziest thing about that was the fact that the deer hit him.
Ran right into the side.
It
of the
ran
car.
into the side pod, so it's kind of messed up. But there was like a bunch of fur in the side pod, and the side pod was the only thing that was damaged because normally, if you even get a glancing blow at the speeds that he was going, which was 55 miles an hour,
Yeah. Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
at those crazy speeds, it would have just wrecked the front end and windshield or whatever. He wouldn't have been
yeah.
able to drive it, but he was able to drive it to Newcomb's and all the way back.
Hey, you went to Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
We all got pictures.
the side pod was messed up, and then the wheel rim had fur. It was gnarly. It's kind of
And I had
gnarly.
that in the 944. It was in the windshield. That same thing. So the hair must just molt whenever they get hit. It's like a
Maybe the heat fuses it. I don't know, but yeah, the car looked like it'd been like tarred and feathered a little bit, right? And the
Can you imagine driving your car just all and you're going really at a clip, so your tunnel vision is like 1,000 miles up and just dum.
I mean, I don't even think he saw it, and that's the thing is if you consider the odds of it, he's going. Yeah, it's pretty. If you consider the odds of it, I mean, you're going a straight line at a fast speed, so something runs into you. Like,
Perpendicular.
it is literally like a millisecond. If it had been just a few milliseconds later, it would have missed it either way. You know,
Any natural math would never have actually been able to hit the mark.
for the deer to T-bone the car.
Yeah.
Right. So that was kind of wild. And I when I saw it was in front of me and I saw this thing spinning, I thought like he maybe hit a piece of wood and then he stopped up. And I expected to see the front end of his car destroyed. And I was like, what happened? I was like, oh, it's on the side. So lucky for him, man. Very lucky for him. And I mean, you know, this is where I also I thought it was kind of interesting because I have no experience with this kind of stuff. I'm like, so is he in trouble? He's like, no. They'll understand. And as I understand, you know, this is just kind of built
like,
in.
Would he get in trouble for damaging the press
Well,
car?
you have to
It's like-
call McLaren and be like, hey, so you know this 620R, which is like 300 in the U.S. Like, yeah, some bad news.
I talked to Matt Fair about that when he and Johnny had the Elva. Remember there was all that, and he goes, you know what? The guys at those places, like the reps, collect those stories.
Yeah.
They really do. They're like, oh, don't forget about the time when so and so had sex in the car. You know what?
Yeah,
I mean? Like, those
yeah.
guys are collecting those stories.
The thing
It's
about
not
the
like
Elva
any of
thing-
you guys or our guys are doing anything malicious or you know what I mean.
No, there's always an inherent risk with anything.
A deer hit the car,
or you could
and
have
even if he hit the deer, it wouldn't have been.
you could have an idiot in traffic cut you off and not see. I mean, like it. There's always when you're driving or living life in general, there's always just things out of your control.
risk
you know?
management, constant risk assessment.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things. It's always assumed that you're being relatively responsible and that you have the track record to show for it because all these guys have very good track records. Again, that was the first deer that Johnny ever hit in 30 years. So, you know, it's not like this is like a problem. I'm sure if every other press car you got, you were having an issue, they'd probably be like, we're going to stop sending you press cars,
Yeah.
and that would be fair.
If you return a certain amount of things to Amazon, they'll stop letting you order from Amazon.
Right, exactly.
You know,
That's
you gotta-
just common
don't
sense.
abuse your privilege. Yeah.
Exactly.
I like how I just compared it to ordering from Amazon.
Yeah, same thing.
folks.
Press
Identical.
car,
Same exact thing.
crashing your press car, Colin McLaren is the same thing as returning too many products. You're right.
You're amazing. I love you more every time I get to
Aw,
know
thanks,
you further.
man.
I love your energy. I love how you're just a really good, warm person, and I'm so grateful. That
We
we're
always have a
friends.
good time. We just get to talk cars.
That's it. I'm just grateful we're friends. So thank you for being here.
Of course, man.
You've done the time. Is there anything else we should mention?
I don't know.
I want people to follow you. So follow you at MISHA Periphery on Instagram.
I got a coffee company with my buddy, coffee roastery with my buddy Matt
When are you going to
Rosenblum.
start doing GVBC? What's up with that?
I need to talk to you about that. We should get like a cart going or something.
Yeah,
like
or
that.
bring
I
an
should
urn
send,
or
I
something.
should send out some. It's really good stuff. He used to be my tour manager, and when touring stopped, he got creative. He's always wanted to do coffee. He's always been passionate about it, and then he started doing it full time. I'm technically the money in the equation, but I love coffee so much. I'm still very involved with it. But he's the talent, and he's based out of Orange County.
Cool.
So it's called Golden Lantern Coffee Roasters. Check that out. That's also on Instagram at that time.
It's not a brick and mortar. It's just you buy it in stores.
Well,
or?
so we were like direct only for the longest time, just roasting. But we are building. Like we've had a very good year.
Oh,
And
congratulations!
it's been, the growth is. We were at the point that in our plan was supposed to be 2 or 3 years down the road. We're already there, so we're now building
Oh,
out.
wow.
We're building out a spot. It's like a roastery mainly, but like,
But people can go there. And
people
buy
can
your
go there,
beans
but the main goal is really just to have like a place to kind of roast our stuff, because we now the problem is meeting demand. But the stuff is phenomenal. It's genuinely phenomenal. Golden Lantern Coffee
Lantern
Roasters,
Coffee
because Golden
Roasters.
Lantern's a street down in Orange County.
Golden Lantern Coffee Roasters,
Like,
and I'm assuming it's on Golden Lantern Street.
It's
in Orange.
not. It's not at all.
Oh.
But it's just kind of like an insider reference.
Nice for the OC folk.
But you don't need to be an OC. We ship everywhere around the world. So, if you
Is
want.
it goldenlantern.com?
GoldenLanternCoffeeRoasters.com. Or just look it up or Instagram, whatever. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So that's what I'd like to bring it. I'd like to bring it to GVBC and have him come up. He's going to be coming all the way down from Orange County. He's probably going to be waking at
The only thing we can't
6:30
do-
p.m. the day before to make it all the way up. No.
The only thing we're not allowed to do is vendors. You know what I mean? So if it was like
I saw someone
either
with a
peop-
truck like selling some stuff. You're not allowed to do
you
that.
only saw that once.
Ah, okay.
You only saw that once.
It's a promotional thing.
No, it wasn't. You mean the you're talking about
We could do. We'll figure something.
that was
out.
the Christian camp up
Oh.
the hill, and they were doing a fundraiser thing, and I think they might have gotten in trouble for it.
Why
so.
don't we fundraise my
We're not-
company?
We're not allowed. Yeah, there you go. So that's what I was going to say. Contributions, whatever the heck.
Yeah.
But we would love to try the coffee. And congrats on that. That sounds awesome. I
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
you were even into that. Do you even drink coffee?
I love it. I'm obsessed with coffee.
Really?
Yeah, that's a whole other rabbit
Your
hole.
driving must be your amp, because when you get up there, like, you're already good to go.
Yeah, but I need coffee in the morning to wake up this early. I'm a musician. Waking up for these drives is hard.
I hear ya.
I struggle. So I've literally slept through it sometimes where I'm like, not today.
Oh, that's
I'm gonna
hilarious.
sleep.
We'll be back Thursday for IG Live. I love everybody. I'm sorry we didn't get to IG tonight, but we'll do it next time. I love you. We love you, mister. So
love you
very
guys.
much. We love everybody at home. Please love one another. GVBC on Friday is like not official at all. It's everybody, you're driving at your own thing, whatever the heck. But we have been told it's not illegal. So there's that. That's always nice.
So what is it? You can't stop anywhere else.
Well, I don't think they're going to kill you for stopping, but theoretically, if you went into Sweetser Falls, if you went to go hike, or if you, I don't know. Theoretically, if you go into the forest, if you pulled into Chileo or something like that, I think that those types of things are now on the forest land. Apparently, the highway itself, Highway 2, is not.
And then
It's a
you get
California
a
state
pass
highway.
because Newcomb's is a private.
That's what we were told as well.
Right.
And this must be true because it's the one stretch of road being left open. You know what I mean? Like they would just shut that too if it weren't true.
True.
So I'm
It's a commuter
believing
road.
everything we're told. Yeah.
So they have to leave it open.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's just common sense. It's
So,
used as a road. Private property, so they have no jurisdiction.
all
But
we're saying is
everything
just be
else,
really responsible,
but
be
everything
really
else,
respectful.
it means there'd probably be less traffic.
That's the hope. Yeah, that's the hope. There won't be any bicyclists.
Yeah.
There won't be any hikers. There won't be any bird feeders.
I've seen some people walking in places where I'm like, oh, you just have a death wish. You must have taken out a life insurance policy or something.
So much.
Because you know what goes on this deep in this mountain and you're walking on the road. Like, that's cool.
We love everybody. Thank you so much. Sorry about the audio glitch earlier. We'll see you next time. Yeah, that was my fault.
There? No, dude. Oh my god. Yeah.